Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Tamara Gross, and I'm the Director of Counseling and Testing here at the University of North Texas. And today I am going to share a very simple practice as part of our new Eagles Rise videos. And it's called the What Went Well practice. So here's some reasons to add the what went well practice. If you are the type of person that tend to focus more on things that you may have done wrong, or maybe you're always judging yourself as not being good enough, and really having trouble focusing on the things that you do well, you might be somebody that is more of a perfectionist. This simple practice might be really great for you to give a try. If you want to increase the level of happiness that you experience in your life, you might also want to consider this. Research in positive psychology tells us that when people are happier, they tend to be more successful, they're healthier, they live longer, and their immunity is even stronger. Something to consider, especially now. You can also begin to decrease the level of depression that you might be experiencing every day. And if you are somebody who has trouble sleeping at night, maybe you rehearse things each night on what maybe you could have been doing, or you should have been doing, or could have done differently at night, and that disturbs your sleep, or you have trouble sleeping because of it. Implementing a practice like this can be really helpful as well. So what is the what went well practice? It's really a very simple practice. It was developed by Martin Seligman, who is the father of positive psychology. And really what you do is you just, before bedtime, you can find a pad and paper, pen and paper, and you can jot down just 3 things that went well that day. You want to be really specific about those things, but they can be really simple things. Then you want to reflect a little bit about why they went well and jot some of that down in your pad as well. You want to do that for at least a week, although Seligman says that once you start doing it, it's kind of addictive, and he finds that people continue to make that a daily practice for themselves, if not every single day, but a number of days per week. I also like to add a second piece to this, in that I like to read that once I've written it right before bed. And then in the morning when I get up, maybe I'm having my coffee at some time in the morning, early on in the morning, I like to reread my list so that I'm not only ending my day by thinking about some things that went well, but I'm also beginning the next day with things that went well. And I think that's just an added benefit for me. You can do that, or you don't have to do that. The other thing I want to mention is that some of the students that I've worked with over the years prefer to actually do this on their phone, and they'll start like a daily list, or sometimes they'll put it on, use an app for it. But basically they'll use their phone and they'll jot those things down on their phone. And so then maybe when they've had a day that hasn't gone so well, they can reflect back and scroll back, and they'll see day upon day of things that went well. And that can really help them to kind of balance out, those days when things are not going as well, and that you can know that that is can be a temporary thing, and that there are other days where you can find good things. So why does this work? Dr. Seligman, again, has done lots of research on this area. If you're interested in reading more, his book, Flourish, is wonderful. This is actually a picture of Dr. Seligman here. But what he says, Dr. Seligman says, is that all of us come into the world being either a half full glass or a half empty glass kind of type of person. And you probably know which one you are. The half empty person tends to really struggle to find positives that are going on around them, while the half full person, they see those much more easily. What's really funny is that Dr. Seligman is actually describes himself as a grump. He says it's really, really hard for him to focus on the positives. And in fact, his kids will sometimes jokingly tell him, "Dad, you need to go in the other room and practice some of your positive psychology stuff." So he knows firsthand that it takes practice and it takes consistency. But what is interesting is that when you do practice these exercises on a daily basis, and there's other types of practices I'll share over the next few weeks that can also really help with this, but it begins to change our focus. And so that even those of us that tend to be the more half empty kind of person, they will begin to change their focus from seeing the negatives to seeing more of the positives. Your brain kind of quickly adapts and it starts looking for those positives every day. And then you do begin to see it more. And it ultimately, what the exciting part of such a simple practice like this is that it does actually impact your overall well-being, and all that you can gain some of those added benefits that we talked about earlier. Thank you so very much for spending a couple of minutes with me today. If you do implement this practice, please shoot me an email. I'd love to hear how it's going in your life. Thanks so much, and you take care. Bye.